Ladies and gentlemen, the occasion for today's meeting is the unveiling of the Orlen 2030 strategy, a document charting the path of the Orlen Group's transformation over the years ahead. The fact that this meeting is being held remotely is just one example illustrating how much the contemporary world has changed. These changes involve the entire global economy, including the sector of fuel and energy production. Energy is the very lifeblood of an economy. Its efficient production keeps the economy going, delivering continuous improvements in the standard and quality of our lives. However, the sector is on the verge of a profound change. The energy transition is a chance to create a more sustainable, fairer and greener economy. How the Orlen Group wants to be part of that change and tap the resulting opportunities will be the subject of the statement from Daniel Obajtek, CEO and President of the PKN Orlen Management Board. It is a historic milestone for the entire Orlen Group. We are building a new multi-utility group capable of successfully competing at a time of a major transformational change. The new Orlen needs to be decidedly more innovation-driven and pro-environmental. The directions of this landmark transformation are set out in the Orlen 2030 strategy. We are building the group around three pillars: maximizing performance of our existing business lines, developing strategic projects, investing in the future, with reliance on new technologies and business models. We intend to spend a total of approximately 140 billion zloty on these initiatives by 2030. And they are expected to generate a total of 195 billion zloty in EBITDA over the next 10 years. The fuel and energy sector has never faced such a challenging time. But we consider it a great growth opportunity for the Orlen Group. The main drivers of the energy transition are new technologies. The changing customer expectations require us to deliver increasingly efficient and environmentally friendly solutions. Furthermore, the rising public awareness necessitates a mitigation of the impacts we exert on the natural environment and external stakeholders. There is no turning back from the energy transition. PKN Orlen has the strength, capabilities, and extensive experience to lead the process. We are operating in a challenging, volatile environment, but our financial standing is solid. We have consistently delivered on our strategic goals. We have been implementing groundbreaking projects. We have also taken numerous steps to prepare the Orlen Group to tackle the changing environment. We have acquired the Energa Group. We have thus purchased a major portfolio of low and zero carbon generation assets in a fast and efficient acquisition process. We have gained access to an extensive distribution network and a large retail customer base. We have launched and are determined to follow through with the process of acquiring control of the Lotus Group. We have already secured clearance from the European Commission and are at an advanced stage of implementing the remedial measures. We have also initiated the process of acquiring PGNiG. We have made good progress in the preparations of our largest power generation project yet, the construction of offshore wind farms. We are vigorously developing our retail arm. We are also exploring new solutions to solidify Orlen's position as a leader in the retail area. The acquisition of Ruch, Poland's countrywide newsagent chain, will be a key success factor here, expanding our retail presence beyond the service station network, optimizing the costs of logistics, and allowing us to extend the range of products and services for our customers. We are about to acquire OTP, the largest liquid fuel transport operator in Poland, which will help us optimize the chain of fuel supplies to our service stations. Orlen's further growth will be driven by its reinforced position within existing business lines and expansion into new promising areas. Firstly, we will aim to maximize profits from our existing business lines. We are realigning our upstream portfolio. We are ramping up the efficiency of our refining and petrochemical assets. We are investing in low-carbon conventional power generation. We are expanding our retail offering. Secondly, we are branching off into new promising areas. We will substantially step up investment in renewable energy sources, alternative fuels, recycling, as well as biofuel component and hydrogen capacities. Our focus will be on the rollout of new service formats for our retail customers. Orlen 2030 will be a company anticipating and proactively responding to customer needs. All the investment projects and mergers will have broadened the base of our customers. Customers remain at the center of our business, and we have the potential to fully meet their expectations. We are pursuing multiple paths to get there, confident that this is a recipe for success. We have charted directions, and we know how to further develop the Orlen Group. We have extensive experience and a breadth of adequate skills and human resources, which will allow us to successfully execute our strategic plans. We are getting ready for change. All the more so that crude oil processing into transport fuels is set to play a diminishing role in the long run. Therefore, we need to maximize profits and keep developing the strongest segments of the group's core business. They will be driving forward our transformation and expansion into new business segments. The Orlen 2030 strategy will involve aggregate capital outlays of over 140 billion zloty. About 40% of that sum will be allocated to the business areas being our strongest suit, i.e. oil refining, petrochemicals, upstream production, fuel retail, as well as energy and gas distribution. Some 50% of the funds will be invested in building new promising business lines. The key areas will be renewable energy sources, as well as advanced low-emission petrochemical production. In the coming decades, the latter will be a vitally important source of our oil processing revenue. Another strategic segment will be non-fuel retail. We want to rely on these areas in building new sustainable sources of our future growth and in developing our net zero carbon strategy by 2050. Approximately 10% of our planned expenditure will go to forward-looking investments, including new mobility, hydrogen, recycling, research and development, and digitalization. Investing in these areas will lay the foundations for our further growth and development. The delivery of our strategic vision will position Orlen as Central Europe's business leader in sustainable transformation. Having established a presence in more than 10 countries and extended our value chains, we will generate a 2.5-fold increase in EBITDA. By 2030, the RES capacities will grow to 2.5 gigawatts. As a result, we will rank as one of the region's largest producers of clean energy. We will become a supplier of integrated services to customers and will considerably expand our non-fuel offering. We will grow our service station network both domestically and abroad, while deploying new formats beyond the service stations. We want our retail network to ultimately comprise over 3,500 sites. Our operations will be underpinned by sustainable development. We will invest in green technologies designed to deliver environmental benefits. The Orlen 2030 strategy will put us well on track to achieving our long-term objective of carbon neutrality by 2050. For years now, Orlen has been one of the fastest-growing players on the market. delivering attractive returns for its shareholders. We are poised to maintain the momentum, with our envisaged transformation as the key road to that end. We are building a multi-utility group based on robust and well-diversified business segments, as well as responsible financial policies. We also aim to share the profits with our shareholders. Starting from next year, we will distribute dividends of 3.5 zloty per share or more. This will make us even more attractive to investors as a modern, strong, and forward-looking business. Our strategy is underpinned by sustainable development. This is why we will directly spend over 30 billion zloty, that is almost a third of our entire development capital budget, to advance that goal. Sustainable development is not only about reducing emissions. It is also about harnessing renewable energy, expanding biofuel and biomaterial capacities, and rolling out alternative fuels. In these areas, we have already built strong capabilities, but we are set on developing them further. We realize that sustainable development is not only our duty, but can also be a source of healthy returns. We have reaffirmed our commitment to reducing emissions, with a target of net zero carbon by 2050. Our 2030 strategy is the main stepping stone towards that target. Within the coming decade, we will reduce CO2 emissions from our existing refining and petrochemical assets by 20%, and from power generation by 33%. We have developed directions for our decarbonization strategy and a pipeline of calibrated initiatives. 60 investment projects designed to reduce carbon emissions, for which we have already identified funding sources. The Orlen 2030 long-term strategy is based on a precise financial model. The delivery of our strategic objectives will boost the Orlen Group's EBITDA by more than 2.5 times. It will be generated largely by our completed and ongoing acquisition projects. However, Orlen's key growth driver will be new capital investment, aligned with long-term technology, consumer and environmental trends. Thanks to its balanced business model, Orlen 2030 will deliver approximately 26 billion zloty in EBITDA by 2030. This figure is not a promise, but a firm commitment to our shareholders. Lead into 5 pillars of PKN Orlen's new strategy. The president of the Orlen Group's management board has just outlined the core focus areas for the group's envisaged transformation and defined the measurable indicators by which to gauge its progress. The essence of the Orlen 2030 strategy for each segment of the group's business will be discussed by members of its management board. Michał Róg, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Wholesale and International Trade. Within the coming decade, PKN Orlen is poised to take lead on the energy transition in Poland and Central Europe. We will continue to build our position by further growing our renewable and low-carbon power generation business. Besides petrochemicals, power generation will be the key driver of a stronger Orlen Group until 2030. The growth of power generation will be based on renewable sources. We plan major investment in offshore wind projects, with as much as 1.7 gigawatts of new capacity to be added to PKN Orlen's portfolio by 2030. Moreover, our investment in onshore wind farms and solar PV systems will deliver approximately 800 megawatts of new generating capacity, complementing renewable power will be projects expanding the capacity of our gas-fired power generation sources, with plans in place to build new CCGT units, one of them in Ostrołęka. Sustainable development of our upstream portfolio should support the growth of our gas-fired power generation business. By 2030, 20% of the Orlen Group's gas demand is to be covered by its own production. Therefore, our strategic goals are to optimize the upstream portfolio following integration with Lotos Group and to focus on stepping up natural gas production. Our effort must be broad-based. In parallel with the investment in generation capacities, we plan to expand our distribution assets, complementing them with innovative solutions, such as pilot energy storage facilities, that will help optimize electricity distribution costs. The Orlen Group's ongoing projects will deliver a five-fold increase in installed RES capacity by 2030 to 2.5 gigawatts. We intend to spend a total of 47 billion zloty on the power generation business. This will position us among the sector's leaders in Poland and, importantly, will drive a four-fold increase in EBITDA from power generation. Zbigniew Leszczynski, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Development. Petrochemicals will be a priority growth area for the Orlen Group until 2030. We aim to become one of Europe's largest integrated petrochemical producers within the next decade. Our strategic goals are to steadily grow the share of specialty petrochemicals in the group's product portfolio and establish a strong foothold in the recycling market. This is our response to global and regional trends. Our 2030 goal for the petrochemical business is to expand the production capacity of basic petrochemicals, which will serve as a base for developing specialty products such as aromatic derivatives and phenol. Once these plans materialize, the share of specialty products in the Orlen Group's portfolio will rise from today's 16% to around 25%. We will also drive up the group's share in the promising polymers segment. Our strategy until 2030 envisions extension of the polymers value chain and entry into compounding and concentrates. In a parallel effort, we will strive to establish strong footholds in the developing markets of plastic waste recycling and biomaterials. By 2030, the Orlen Group will recycle plastic waste via both mechanical and chemical processes and will make an entry into the biomaterials segment. We will launch a plastic waste recycling facility with a total capacity of around 300,000 up to 400,000 tons per year. We will allocate some 44 billion zloty to capital investment in petrochemicals by 2030, which will deliver more than a threefold increase in the segment's EBITDA to approximately 7 billion zloty. Józef Węgrecki, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Operations. PKN Orlen enjoys a strong and well-entrenched position in the refining industry, and we are intent on keeping it that way. Integrated assets are a source of our competitive advantage. We operate 6 refineries in Poland, the Czech Republic and Lithuania. Their total annual crude throwout of 33 million tons, making us a leader in the region. The refineries will remain our key asset until 2030. We also expect the Lotos Group refinery in Gdansk to shortly become part of our group too. In order to maximize the value of our refining business, we need to own the most efficient assets in Central Europe. To that end, we will seek to get the most from each barrel of oil. Given the changing EU regulatory environment, we need to invest in new green technologies. Hence the investment we have made to date in biofuel and biocomponent development projects. These efforts will increase our production capacities over 6-fold. We are also building hydrogen generation and distribution capabilities. The consistent implementation of our automotive-grade hydrogen production plan has already positioned us as a market leader. No doubt, hydrogen is a fuel of the future. Therefore, we will make hydrogen fuel dispensers available to motorists at our service stations. Our strategic targets are to reduce emissions from oil refining by circa 20% and to double the EBITDA. We will spend 24 billion zloty in capital outlays to deliver these targets by 2030. Patrycja Klarecka, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Retail Sales. Retail is certainly the most recognizable business of the Orlen Group. We currently operate 2,800 service stations across 5 markets: Poland, Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Lithuania. Over the next decade, we will seek to expand our network, particularly outside Poland, to comprise approximately 3,500 sites. This will help consolidate our leading position in the region and provide a stable source of revenue. We are committed to providing advanced and comprehensive services. Customers of our service stations will be able not only to fill up on gasoline or diesel-powered vehicles, but also charge an electric car and refuel a vehicle powered by CNG, LNG or hydrogen. We are set to make over 1,000 EV fast chargers available to motorists by 2030. We are investing heavily to expand our non-fuel offering at the service stations and beyond. We will launch retail outlets outside our service station network in Poland and the Czech Republic as soon as next year. Seeking to support these plans, we have acquired Ruch. We will also grow our network of parcel pickup points and e-commerce business. We expect these initiatives to deliver a 50% increase in our gross non-fuel margin by 2030. Integration with the Energa Group is a starting point in building comprehensive B2C and B2B service centers, covering such areas as fuel and electricity sales and distributed energy solutions. We are constantly working to improve the quality of our services for customers, implementing best sales practice to boost the profitability of our business. We will invest approximately 11 billion zloty to develop our retail business by 2030, which will lift the segment's annual EBITDA to around 5 billion zloty. Adam Burak, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Communication and Marketing. In order to implement our business plans, we need to pursue a comprehensive strategy for the Orlen brand. Modern, trustworthy, and high quality are our key brand attributes in the eyes of customers. We will seek to reinforce them on the existing and new markets. We market our products in over 100 countries around the world. We will consistently build a single global brand in all markets where we operate. The first step will be to introduce the Orlen brand across all our service stations in Central Europe, including in Germany, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia. The single strong brand will allow us to fully leverage our immense potential, reach new customers, and effectively support sales. We also aim to expand the presence of the Orlen brand beyond our service stations and put it at the core of our customer relationships. As we grow new business lines, the brand will accompany our customers when they stop for essentials, use e-commerce, or multi-utility services. The Orlen brand is also to become a symbol of the energy transition within the decade to come. This cannot be achieved without effective communication with all stakeholder groups, as the process will require not only operational transformation on our part, but also efforts to drive demand for clean green products and technologies. To that end, we are building our own media purchasing capabilities, and we will continue to invest in modern communication channels supporting sales. Orlen 2030 will be a strong Polish brand, recognizable in all markets where we sell our advanced products and services. Lead into the presentation, How will the Orlen Group be transformed? We have just learned how the Orlen Group will be transforming within its key business areas. However, the pursuit of these goals will require some major changes within the organization. These keys to the successful delivery of the group's strategic vision will be discussed by Mr. Armen Artwich. Armen Artwich, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Corporate Affairs. In line with PKN Orlen strategy, organizational changes will be an integral part of each business segment's growth. Their aim will be to streamline and speed up processes. We will increase spending on innovation, including green technology projects. We will play a key role in developing new areas of our business and our expansion towards increasingly more specialized products and services. Ultimately, we intend to spend 3% of capex on innovation, research and development. This will amount to a total of 3 billion zloty over the next 10 years, putting us on a strong footing in relation to our peers. These funds will be allocated to the development of the Corporate Venture Capital Fund and our R&D Center, among other projects. A key element of the Orlen Group's transition will be the digital transformation of its business, integrated all segments and internal processes. They will help unblock the previously inaccessible sources of added value and better leverage our capabilities and assets. We will deploy integrated and flexible digital solutions to substantially improve the efficiency of our production and distribution processes, reduce our environmental footprint, and foster customer relationships. In order to support delivery of our strategic goals and integration processes, the Orlen Group will implement an advanced governance model. We will align it with the scale of our business, taking into account the various aspects of sustainable development. Our business growth and diversification goals require human capital with extensive knowledge and competencies. Therefore, talent and human capital development will be another prerequisite in the Orlen Group's transformation. We want to build an organization that relies on knowledge and versatile competencies. Finally, sustainable development initiatives will be an essential part of our strategy. We have set ourselves ambitious goals for that area. Our commitment to sustainable development is reflected in successive ESG rating ups, which elevate our stature with suppliers and customers. In addition to being a roadmap for the group's transformation, the Orlen 2030 strategy is also a financial model defining the level of capital investment and expected returns. Methods of funding the group's strategic investment projects and benefits they are expected to deliver will be discussed by Mr. Janusz Szewczak. Janusz Szewczak, member of the PKN Orlen Management Board, Finance. We aim to be one of the fastest growing players in the fuel and energy sector. The basis for the Orlen Group's further growth and value creation will be our solid financial foundations. We aim to rely on 3 pillars: viable investment, sustainable financing, and stable balance sheet. We will spend a total of 140 billion zloty on our strategic projects by 2030. Of which as much as 85 billion zloty will be invested in new business areas, while 55 billion zloty will be spent on improving the efficiency and extending the life cycle of our existing key assets. We will focus on the most profitable projects that meet our expectations in terms of investment returns. Sustainable financing will be a key element of our strategy. We will align our annual investment plans with the group's current financial capabilities. We want to cover a large portion of our investments and expenditures from current operating cash flows. We plan to maintain safe levels of debt, with net debt EBITDA capped at times 2.0 to 2.5. We will balance our funding sources by launching an international notes program in the first quarter of 2021. We are open to green and sustainable financing. We also want to make efficient use of alternative funding sources, such as project finance, EU funding for innovation and energy transition, and co-funding of selected projects by external partners. We believe our efforts will be reflected in a strong investment-grade credit rating. Measures planned under our new strategy will drive a 2.5-fold rise in EBITDA by 2030. The Orlen Group's growth should deliver tangible benefits to its owners. We want to share profits with shareholders on a regular basis. We plan to return to the original dividend path. We recommend a dividend payment for 2020 at 3.5 zloty per share or more. We plan to keep dividend payouts at the same or higher levels going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a comprehensive presentation of PKN Orlen's 2030 strategy, which has given us a very good idea of how its business will be developed over the next 10 years.